Almost 99%. The first step to reconciling is never to solve the problem. Remember, don't, when the relationship is very tense for both parties, rush to solve the problems between you. The point we're talking about today is very crucial and also very easy to overlook. Almost 99% of people who hope will fall into this trap, especially those who still think as long as there is a conflict, let's just communicate well. Sisters with this mindset. Let me ask you a question first. Do you feel that as long as you lay out the original conflict and explain it clearly, sincerely apologize, ask for forgiveness, once the other person softens their heart, you will be able to smoothly reconcile? If you think that way, then it can only be said that your understanding of relationships still stays on the surface. You are too idealistic. And you must have noticed a phenomenon that the more you want to explain things clearly to them, the more you want to explain and communicate, the colder the other person's attitude becomes. And they may even start to get annoyed with you and distance themselves. Isn't that right? So where exactly does this problem lie? Actually, it is just one point. You got the order of wrong. You think the process of is to communicate first, then solve the problem, and finally. But the actual logic is, first let the relationship warm up. Wait for the other person's emotions to calm down. Then you can calmly talk about the problem. You are rushing right now to solve the problem, but you've overlooked a key prerequisite. Communication isn't just however you want it to be. It is not that because you want to communicate, the other person must cooperate with you. Nor is it that if what you say makes sense, the other person will definitely forgive you. Especially when your relationship has already broken down, and the other person starts to be on guard against you, avoid you, or even be annoyed by you. Your one-sided communication in the other person's ears sounds like, here you go again, still the same. You don't understand me at all. You rush to explain. The more you rush to persuade, what you are actually doing is self-soothing. It is a vent after an explosion of anxiety. It is not communication, let alone the relationship. At this time, all your efforts will instead become a burden to the other person. The other person is trying hard to escape this emotional storm, but you keep pressing forward, repeatedly saying, let's talk, let's solve the problem. The other person already doesn't want to face you, yet you insist they cooperate with you to dissipate your emotions. What is this if not applying pressure? The worst way too is when your emotions are overwhelmed. You communicate with purpose and anxiety, and then ask while crying, tell me what happened to us. Can we still go back to how things were? You think you are, but actually you are to the other person, engaging in emotional blackmail. You will only push the other person further away, making them only want to escape from you. And some people will say, but the problems between us indeed need to be resolved, so how can I not communicate? Let me tell you a very cruel truth. When the other person no longer wants to love you, no longer wants to maintain this relationship, at that time, you become the problem he most wants to solve. It is not those problems between you, but rather you as a person who makes him feel repulsed, makes him feel exhausted, and makes him not want to continue. At this time, you are still holding on to our problems and not letting go. Right? Essentially, you are continuously putting pressure on the other person. You are telling him, look, we have so many problems, so you need to cooperate with me to handle them. When the other person is even impatient to reply to your messages, and you still insist on arranging an emotional negotiation, how could this possibly have a good result? So, the more you handle problems this way, the more conflicts between you will increase. The more you want to mend the relationship, the more he, on the contrary, wants to completely remove you from his life. Do you know the underlying logic behind this? It is that you haven't given this relationship space to breathe and a buffer. You are too impatient. You always think about solving problems quickly and making up quickly, but you ignore that. When people are under high emotional pressure and the relationship is in a broken state, they have absolutely no desire. He is unwilling to talk to you, not because you aren't speaking clearly enough, but because he doesn't want to listen at all. At this time, nothing you say will work. You repeatedly explain and state your position. In his eyes, this is just an endless strain. So ultimately, you seem to be dealing with the relationship, but in reality, you are just easing your own inner anxiety. Because you are afraid of losing, you use solving problems as an excuse. Actually, you are just coaxing yourself to feel at ease. You see making up as a communication negotiation, so the other person will naturally respond with resistance, defiance, and silence. So, take my advice. When it comes to the relationship, the thing you should do most is not rushing to solve problems, but rather reducing your sense of presence. This isn't asking you to disappear completely, but to take a step back first, leaving buffer space for each other. Like when someone falls down, you shouldn't be in a hurry to pull them up immediately, but first let them take a moment to ease their own pain. Once they have recovered their strength and have the desire to recover, only then is it possible to stand up again. The same logic applies to this. Don't rush to solve problems. First, let the other person feel a sense of comfort with you, then talk about the next step. So what is comfort? It is when he sees you. He doesn't immediately tense up, resistant or irritable. Can normally with you say a few words. He doesn't mind you being around. He might even start to wonder how you've been lately. And to create the sense of comfort, the prerequisite is that you, first from a state of anxiety, come out. Let go of the I must get him back obsession. Return to your own life. This way, he can then feel your change and maturity. Finding that you are no longer like before, clingy, and no longer being unreasonable. No longer so emotional. Only then might he have a new understanding of you. He will wonder in his heart, has he changed? By then, it is only then possible that he is willing to approach you again. Only then might he be willing to listen to your past grievances, regrets, and sadness. And only then will he truly sit down with you to face the past problems. True reconciliation is not simply by solving problems that it can be realized, but rather to rebuild emotional connection, slowly getting closer psychologically, naturally achieved. So please remember this sentence. Don't, when the relationship is at its most tense, touch those sensitive issues. First, put away your desire to explain, desire to prove, and desire to reconcile. Even if you are unwilling in your heart, no matter how wrong you feel, don't rush to pour your heart out. Wait until your relationship eases. Then talk about those hurts. Conflicts and misunderstandings will then be meaningful. First, make him want to approach you. Only then will you have the chance to talk about your future. Of course, what I mentioned above is based on the logic of general psychology framework. But in reality, everyone's situation is different. The other person has different personalities. The reasons are different. The degree of entanglement is different. The specific needs and the sense of propriety are also completely different. For example, to what extent should contact be cut? What kind of presence to maintain to make the other person comfortable? If he has a new love, what should be done? If you have been entangling for a long time and the situation is very deadlocked, how should it be reversed? These detailed areas, a slight deviation, the result might be worlds apart. The human heart is unpredictable. There is no universal template. If you want to succeed, what is needed more is accurate judgment of the situation and of your own emotions, extremely fine-tuned control. If you are currently distraught over this, don't know where to start, or have tried many methods, only to make things worse, don't try to carry it all alone. It is truly exhausting. Under the sun, there is nothing new. Maggie has handled it all. Happy to answer your question.